get a little hotter, it means only one thing. It could be a November to remember in the ACC.
All right, welcome back to the ACC Huddle. Now we're looking at the Week 10 games.
And searching for
Some of y'all,
headquarters.
some of y'all.
Every
And
single
I see
Saturday.
on November
All right,
1st that our
moving on
Notre
to
Dame
Week 10
Fighting
as we
Irish will
roll
take
through
on
this
Boston
schedule
College.
release. EMAC,
Syracuse will take on
what
North
you got?
Carolina.
Yeah, I'm
California will take on
looking at
Virginia.
Miami
Clemson will take on Duke.
SMU.
Florida State will take on Wake Forest. Georgia State will take on NC State.
Virginia
Virginia Tech will take on Louisville. NC will take on Miami. And Stanford will take on Pittsburgh.
The deal there, and now we get to see
Now,
it, and it's fun because this is the
we are
Red
halfway-
Ashley Bowl, right? You know, so many ties to Miami, so many Miami guys at SMU in the transfer portal. There's a lot of connections. It's going to be really fun to see the chippiness, the argumentativeness, all the different things, and you know, just some good old football at the end of the day.
How about you see Louisville, Eddie, going to your alma mater at Virginia Tech?
That's going to be a good one.
That's a fun game.
And going into Blacksburg, it's going to be a little bit tougher. But Kyron Jones, I want to see the type of year he's going to have. Dealt with some injuries last year. Should be a big year for him.
Also, how about a spooky Halloween Friday night game in Syracuse with North Carolina coming to town? Moving on to Week 11, EJ, there are some really good games on the slate for this week as we get really into the month of November. And these games, when they matter most, are going to count.
Well, this one's got to count. Florida State.
Now looking at Week 11
Hopefully
now.
This is a game that you look at these two teams, where they're going to be. We know Clemson's going to be good. They're bringing back a ton of talent. The question mark around Florida State, how do you show up? And you're in Death Valley. So I would assume that's going to be a night game. I know we don't necessarily know the times of these games yet, but that's going to be a huge matchup, especially late in the season. It's going to be a little chilly out as well. See who wins that.
I look forward to us getting back to our bet, brother. I think I'm gonna have you singing in a jersey.
I didn't need to bet last year.
Last year, I mean, he let it ride.
This is how I know he's a good man. You could have put me to the wire this year because we had a rough year.
Yeah.
We had a real rough year. Rough. And you didn't make me bet, so I appreciate that. We can run it back this year.
You guys know
we
what that
got it.
means?
We got it.
Double or nothing.
And I think we get Taylor involved too.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
You
You
went
went
to
to
understand as
as well.
well.
Come on,
That's the double. You in it.
Okay,
But
double
double
or
up
nothing.
Taylor
Hope
and
you're
a
all right.
single bet for me.
All
I
right.
got it. We'll have
Okay,
a
we'll do
Letterman
this
jacket
together.
and a
Don't leave me
jersey.
hanging.
Perfect. Got it.
Do not leave me
Okay.
hanging
Oh,
on
my
that.
bad. I got you.
Thank you so much. Also on the slate, by the way, Syracuse going down to Miami. Remember how the regular season ended
Yeah.
last year
Yep.
with Miami losing in the Dome? Got a little rematch there.
A lot of orange.
With
I don't
bad
want-
taste in the Canes' mouth. Okay, moving on to Week 12. Eddie Royal,
Week
what do you
12.
see here on this slate?
All right, our Notre Dame Fighting Irish will take on Pittsburgh Panthers on November 15th. Louisville will take on Clemson. Boston College will take on Virginia Tech. Georgia Tech. Duke will take on Virginia. Florida State will take on Virginia Tech. Miami will take on NC State, and then Wake Forest will take on North Carolina. Tar Heels on the same day. We have 6 games that's going to be held on the same day as November
The
15th.
course that you play, you play an expensive course. So you gotta play what I
It's gonna hit your pocket.
municipal course.
You see that watch you got on? Yeah, you got it.
I like that.
Go,
we're-
go.
It's a golf
I'm
bet,
out
which
watch.
means I'm out of this. I just drive the cart when I golf with them. I don't get to play. Okay, moving on now to Week 13. Coach, I'm
Week
looking at you.
13, here it is.
Your coach's
On
perspective.
November 22nd, Notre Dame will take on Syracuse Orange. Virginia Tech will take on Miami. Clemson will take on Furman. Wake Forest will take on Delaware. Virginia Tech will take on Miami. SMU will take on Louisville. Georgia Tech will take on Pittsburgh. North Carolina will take on Duke. Stanford will take on California, and Florida State will take on NC State.
Implication on who plays in the ACC championship again.
Yeah, great point. I love that Miami and Virginia Tech.
All these teams are in the
You know
ACC.
You know better than I do, but all the history, the Big East vibes, even the ACC days. I mean, it's a war.
The game last year,
Yeah.
I can't talk about the refs because I like my job, but they'll get another chance to get some payback for that.
So me and you got a bet.
Yeah.
We got 3
Yes,
in a
we
row.
got a bet.
This is
Let's get the
great.
best going, but also, guys,
ready.
so this game ended up being amazing last year. Cal at Stanford.
Yep.
That game was great. This year, we assume that's going to be just as good this next coming season as well. That's a great one.
Rivalry Duke at Carolina as well. The first one for Bill Belichick. Number
His first
2
words
for Manny
apparently were
Diaz.
beat Duke.
Right.
First
So
words
there's,
ever.
you know, that'll
Literally,
be
as a child.
be playing all week. That
think that's
quote from
true.
him, and then on Friday night,
Two words.
Great PR though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Carter
AI,
Finley's
they
going to
can
be
remake-
rocking as well. You got Florida State at NC State. So that's going to
Friday
be a
night.
fun one in Raleigh.
House of Horrors there, right?
Tough place.
Okay, week 14. We've made it
It's almost over.
to the end.
All
of
right,
the
week
by
14,
slate.
last one.
What do we have? Here,
Let's see what we
EJ?
I
have.
like North Carolina and North Carolina
Wow.
State. But,
Yeah,
good
like-
old Georgia
Wow,
Tech game.
Georgia Tech will
Lovely
take on my
game last
favorite
year.
famous
Now,
team,
good thing for Georgia
Georgia
Tech, they got the
Bulldogs.
quarterback.
But
Georgia's
this
the
time
top.
it's
I
going to
like
they're going to
them
held
starting.
at
We'll see how
the
he phases
Mercedes-Benz
throughout
Stadium
the
in
season.
Atlanta,
That's a huge
Georgia,
game. Again, for the perception
on
of the league, and a lot
November
of these crossovers with,
28th.
You know, ACC
Wow.
versus SEC are still
I
very
knew it.
important. to our
Syracuse
league
take on
once we
Boston
get to
College,
this.
California take on MCU, Duke will take on Wake Forest, Pittsburgh will take on Miami, NC State will take on North Carolina, Virginia will take on Virginia Tech. That's a rivalry game. South Carolina will take on Clemson, Florida will take on Florida State. Wait, Florida State will take on Florida, rivalry game. Louisville will take on Kentucky, and then Notre Dame, our Notre Dame, Fighting Irish will take on Stanford.
I thought FSU Florida. You can't forget that one.
Wow.
There's more. Keep it going. It's,
That's
there's a lot.
That's a Florida team on an upward trajectory
Oh, sure.
against
It
a Florida
looks
State team
like
that
we
at this
have
point
just
don't
made
know
it
what we're gonna
through.
get, and by that point in
Can
the
only go
season,
up.
week 14 can only go up. We'll definitely know what
No,
the
Literally. Like,
Well,
have to offer. A couple other rivalry games there is BC Syracuse is being played as well. That week is a good one too.
I did want to mention the Clemson South Carolina game.
Yeah.
You might have two Heisman finalists at quarterback.
Yes.
Lenore Sellers and Cade Klubnik. from
the
Clemson.
growth we've seen from Cade, unbelievable, and Lenore Sellers.
Baller.
I mean,
Yeah, he
baby
baller.
Cam Newton. I mean,
Contain
he's
him.
that good.
Yeah.
Literally, hit him, please. Don't put
Don't
a
get mad
nickel.
again.
Don't put a
Don't get mad
nickel on
again.
the
Calm
field.
down, calm
Put an
down.
extra linebacker
It's
on the field.
9:30
Anyway, I'm not
p.m.
still mad or anything.
We
Got
still
a
have
new
like,
D coordinator though, so you should be good.
That's probably why.
we're going to touch on that coming up in just a bit. Just a note on that Georgia Tech thing. Brent Key was at the national championship game.
Yeah, he was.
Inside that dome there, and he talked to Andrea Adelson, and he showed her the background of his phone. It's the final score of that game. So he wants to remember how that one feels. So you can imagine the Jackets are going to come out strong there in Atlanta against Georgia. It's going to be a good one. Maybe we'll get 9-10 overtime.
That'd be great.
More football, the better. Okay,
Never know.
done.
All right,
Week
coming up
by
will be
week. Now we're
team
gonna
by
transition
team
to
schedules. That
team
is
by team
coming your way
schedules. Can
when
Clemson
we
repeat
get
as
back
SEC champs? Will Bill Belichick
from
come in
our
and do the thing in North
messages.
Carolina? We'll discuss after the break.
We'll be back here after the break. Don't go anywhere.